Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Friday, April 29th. YouTube just notified me. Let me get my dog hair off me here. YouTube just notified me I'm live. Thanks, YouTube. I appreciate it. Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. I'm here every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I appreciate you joining me. Please, if you're new here, post up a question. I'd love to hear from you. Don't be shy. Post up your question. There's no dumb questions. There's only stupid questions, awkward questions, weird questions, and occasionally questions that get you bad. I'm just kidding. So before we get into things, a few things, guys. Number one, post up your question. We can talk running, lifting, cardio, nutrition, off topic. We don't mind off topic stuff. It is Friday, and none of us want to work anyway, right? Let me know where you guys are from. One of the questions that got in before the live started will win either a Team Massive membership or a free t-shirt shipped anywhere in the world. Now, I have serious sinus issues, and I'm going to apologize that out of the gate. If you hear, I might have to blow my nose, sneeze, shake the cooties out, whatever, right? So I want to let you guys know I've fired back up the podcast. I'm going to work really hard to keep a tighter schedule so I can fit that in. That's something I really enjoy. You can head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com, and click the podcast tab. All right. Click the podcast tab, and you can see some of the old ones. I will be uploading this to podcast as well when I am done. Immediately when I'm done, I'll be loading this to podcast. So you can see there's a podcast tab. You can double click it, and you scroll past that little sting right there, and you got basically a bunch of episodes. This is also on Spotify and on Google, and I'm trying to get it on some other things as well. Now, if your questions don't post or they disappear, that's not me. I apologize. That is not me. That is lovely YouTube. So if your questions disappear, you can head over to Instagram. You can head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, and slide into my DM during the live show. There we go. I got it up on screen. During the live show, and I will answer your questions off Instagram if they don't post on the live, right? Oh, I got something in my mouth. Let me get that out of there. So let me know what you guys are up to this weekend. If you're doing anything fun, if you are lifting, relaxing. We were going to go to a ball game today, but with how bad my sinuses are, I'm not sure we're going to do that. Now, if you guys have any guests you'd like to see on the podcast, please hit them up and have them contact me. You can pressure them and tell them I'd love to have them on, anybody within reason. Before I get started, guys, I have a couple coaching slots open. If you're interested in coaching, head over to Super Living Today. Click the coaching tab. It's only $80 a month, 3-month commitment. It's not only one of the most cost-effective coaching services in the industry, it's also how I make my living. And it's also not cookie cutter nonsense. I'm with you every single day. Once you sign up, we talk on the phone, go over goals, set up a custom workout. I'm with you every single day. You can do form checks every day, blah, blah, blah. So check it out. Whoops, wrong way. Check it out. All right. Let's dive into things. Paladin dance. Will my chest growth be limited only benching with dumbbells? Well, I will say this. You got to find a way to work in some other exercises. You want to try to, add a little bit of variety. If you work hard and, if that's all you can do, then that's all you can do, right? Just get strong on the dumbbells. But if you only have dumbbells at home, honestly, you got to get a gym membership or you got to expand that home gym. That's the most honest, real answer. Beyond that, you can do things like supersets like push-ups and dumbbell bench. If the dumbbells get too light, you can. What else can you do for chest? If you have dumbbells, you can do dumbbell flies. So there we got 3 exercises already. We have dumbbell flies, we have dumbbell bench, and we have push-ups. You might be able to rig a way to do benches at home as well. I'm not sure where you're lifting, Paladin, but those are some things I would consider. I'd try to work in some variety if you could. Now, I had a follow-up here. Let me see if I missed anything. I tore my rotator cuff benching 18 months ago, and I've been afraid to use the barbell since. I understand the fear, but at some point you have to get back under and at least start with the bar. When I tore my shoulder, I had to get back under and start with the bar. And when I tore my hamstring, I had to get back at it. I understand the fear. And while benching isn't a requirement, it's a good idea to have some variety. If you're at a commercial gym, you can do machine chest press. You can do pec deck, which is a good exercise because it has a wider progression opportunity, etc. Utgart. Everybody say this. Repeat after me. Utgart. Sorry. I hope that's how we pronounce your name. Hello, big hairy ugly dude. First live for me. Thank you. I appreciate you joining me. My question: when would be the best time to crank it up and push my sets for maximal safe reps? 2 first sets or 2 last sets? When doing 4 sets of bench. Here's the thing with doing maximal safe reps and why I generally advocate the later sets. If you do the first sets, then the final set almost automatically turns into max safe reps. Let's say for example, let's say we're doing 70-pound dumbbells on dumbbell bench press, right? And we push the first 2 sets for max safe reps and we hit 12 and 9. And then we go to the third set. Well, then if we're not pushing it for max safe reps, are we just kind of stopping it short at any random number? That's the question. So invariably that third set or even that fourth set is going to end up being max safe reps. And you're going to end up having all 4 of your sets pretty close to max safe reps. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you just need to know that if you're going to do your first 2 sets max safe reps, your last 2 sets are probably, or the sets you're finishing up with are probably going to be there as well. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It all comes down to personal preference. I prefer to be more like Dorian Yates was. Dorian would do a warm-up set for, a lot of reps and jump into things for max safe reps. I kind of have you doing either the first and second at a 8 or 10 reps or whatever you're at in the last set, or even 2 sets for max safe reps. At the end of the day, it won't matter. It really won't matter much. You just need to know the differences are if you do the first 2 sets max safe reps, you're probably doing more sets at max safe reps, the finishing sets, and that's going to increase overall workout intensity, and you may need to dial some things in. I'm not sure if that's making sense. Hog. Hey, big, hairy, ugly dude. Realistically, as a beginner, how much can I expect when following one of your 2-day programs? Can I reach the intermediate stage with it, or will I need more volume later? Now, I'm glad you used beginner and intermediate. Tomorrow, I'm releasing a podcast that I did with Faz Lifts, where we dive into beginner and intermediate stuff. So I want you guys all to check that out. Check it out. I'll probably have a teaser here on this channel. So let's do the question. How much can I expect? You can expect a lot. If you are pushing hard and making those sets count and getting in a lot of quality work, you can expect a lot. So a true beginner can expect upwards of 16 pounds of muscle their first year. How many people realistically hit this? Not many at all. It's like pie in the sky. You're lucky to hit 10 pounds of mass your first year. Now, with that said, Hog, we need to focus on maximizing everything. You got your programming down. You need to nail it with consistency. You need to nail it with effort. You need to use progressive overload and progress when the program tells you to progress. Because if you don't, you're wasting time. If you got that in place, make sure your nutrition is nailed. Okay. Make sure you're gaining weight. Make sure you're eating in a surplus. Let's get the most out of our training as we can. So if you do that and you have your nutrition nailed and you have your consistency nailed and you have your progression nailed, you're going to get a lot out of it, even though it's only 2 days a week. 3 days grace. How do you deal with clients who come to you with low back pain? I will say 3 days grace. That's a good question. In coaching, there is a lot of lower back issues. In coaching, there is a lot of elbow tendonitis issues. So with elbow tendonitis, we obviously address that with Versagrips. With lower back stuff, it's kind of a multiple prong attack. There's different causes of lower back pain. Obviously, you can pick up lower back pain from bad squat form or faulty squat form. Same with deadlifts. That can be amplified, excuse me, by dumbbell rows and barbell rows, the pressure that those put on your lower back, as well as stiff leg deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, those sorts of things. So we have to kind of look at the lift selection and see if anything is contributing to that. We also have to consider the weight. What is your weight? Is your body weight contributing to lower back pain? Are you sitting a lot? And beyond that, if it's outside of that realm, weight and lifts, obviously I'm not a doctor and I don't try to play a doctor, but what we would do at that point, since we do not know what is causing the lower back pain, is do what we can do. That makes sense. I will never try to push a client into doing something they can't do. It's not suck it up buttercup time, right? It's one of my pillars when coaching is we have to keep you healthy and keep you moving forward. If you're out of the gym, you can't progress. All right, 3 days grace with another question. Are all saturated fats bad for our health? No. There is a lot of fear that is driven in the nutrition industry and nutrition markets. And sorry, somebody's car alarm is going off. Why wouldn't it go off during Massive Iron Live, right? So saturated fats and cholesterol, in our foods are not bad things. If we are eating heavily meat-based and plant-based, a solid portion of our calories that are meat-based and plant-based, we're in a good place. There is a lot of fear, a lot of propaganda, and that's, the alarm just started again. Very nice, very nice. It stopped for like 10 seconds. I got excited. All right, it stopped again. Let's see if the knucklehead can do it, the trifecta, and get their car alarm to go off 3 times. There is a lot of propaganda, and that's an accurate way of putting it, from these big corporations who lobby and line the politicians' pockets with cash to get more of the to make their way into the into, I'm trying to say this the right way. Like, the reason why these corporations are pushing for veganism, and this is not an anti-vegan diatribe at all, not at all, but there are corporations that are pushing for these things. I don't really think it's the vegans. And the reason why is there's like 10 major corporations that literally produce 90% of the foods we eat, and it's not healthy stuff. Like Pepsi owns KFC and Pizza Hut and Frito-Lay. And the ingredients in 90% of the foods we eat is profit driven, right? High profit margin ingredients, which tend to be carb based. So there's a lot of propaganda from that side of the field, and we need to know this. This isn't conspiracy theory. We need to understand this, that our diets are under attack by these corporations, these slime ball. And I hate to call them slime ball, but look, they're killing people. It's like the cigarette companies. They're striking fear into you. If you eat eggs, you're somehow going to die. When in reality, if you're eating their shit food, it's going to impact your health, right? Eat your eggs, eat your meat, eat your saturated fat, eat your cholesterol. Bad cholesterol, like low particle size bad cholesterol, let's be real. That's going to come from shit foods, right? Excuse my honesty. Eating your fast food and processed food and sugar, and deep fried and all that kind of stuff. So don't fear this stuff. Eat healthy, eat nutrient dense, animal based, plant based. This is how we've always eaten, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All right. Scapular movement on bench press. Should it be fully retracted the entire time? You want to kind of have a nice platform, right? But if the problem with bench is if you try to do all these 10 form cues and have everything perfectly tight for a long set, something's probably going to loosen up. So when I bench, I just try to pack my shoulders a little bit. That's it. I don't overthink things. I don't want my shoulders loose, right? So I'll grab the bar, I'll pack them a little bit and unrack, if that makes sense. Another one. I know that the body survives in a very small pH range, but are there any benefits to hit the upper end of that range? The pH range in your blood isn't going to move. I'm not laughing at you 3 days, Grace. I'm just laughing because I'm thinking of these waters, these pH folks that sell this pH water, and the folks that sell the fiction that somehow you're going to impact your blood pH, by the food you eat. It's nonsense, and it's just stupid. Stupid products, snake oil products, and just eat normally. The main benefit in life is eating normally, eating your meat-based and plant-based foods and not worrying about all this stuff. It's not worth worrying about at all. Your bloodstream isn't going to, change pH much. If your bloodstream could change pH, we'd probably all die in like a week because something we ate or drank messed up our pH. Is there any limit for meat and dairy products? Well, if they're making you fat, calories still matter. So if you're somebody that's a binge eater and you're over consuming stuff, yes. What I usually typically tell people is eat your meat and eat your plants. Meat, animal-based foods and plant-based foods should comprise the bulk of what you eat. Meat, fruits, and veggies, right? That should comprise the bulk, not everything, the bulk of what you eat. Now, we also have little things, like nuts, legumes, cashews, peas, beans, dairy products, cheese. We can still eat those. They still have great nutrients, but they're super high calories. So we probably want a little bit. We probably want a good portion, a sizable portion of what we eat to be animal-based and plant-based. And then just a little bit of meat, a little bit of nuts, a little bit of legumes, that sort of thing. That's kind of how my diet is. Excuse me. You can you could put a whole block of cheese, on a cheeseburger. But at the end of the day, that's a little bit, borderline unbalanced. So from a nutrient standpoint, we really want to look at nutrients. We really want to, if we take care of our body with nutrients. This is about health, so we need to take care of our body with nutrients and a little bit of, the super high fat stuff, nuts, and the super high calorie stuff, legumes, and the super high calorie stuff, dairy. A little bit is good because it provides some really good nutrients that may be missed with our other animal and plant-based choices. It is my lifetime goal. Are the 3, 4, 5 bench, squat, and dead? Are injuries inevitable? Injuries are always inevitable. Minor strains, pains, tweaks, all part of the journey. Unavoidable unless you're lucky. Now, I had a client ask me, he said, I was in the gym with a bunch of old timers, and they're all talking about their war wounds. And he asked the question, is lifting worth it? Well, I'll tell you like this. If you look at a room full of 55 to 60-year-old lifters, they're all going to have war wounds, right? And they're all going to talk about their war wounds because that's what old people do, right? Talking about their war wounds. Now, that can kind of scare you as a younger lifter, like, oh my goodness, is lifting bad for me? But you know what? The 55 to 60-year-old lifters are in the gym lifting where your dad and grandpa are at home on the couch drinking beer looking like a fat sack of crap. Right? Waiting for a heart attack to hit any day. And that's a generalization, but that's kind of the way it is, right? That's the way it is. Am I lying? Am I lying? Am I lying? So having a few war wounds, you're still 100 times better off than the dad bod sitting on the couch at age 55 eating those cheaters. Give me them cheaters. And another slice of pizza, and another Miller High Life, right? Right? You're better off. Those dudes are in the gym crushing balls, right? Where your grandpa and your dad, they're sitting on the couch. Low testosterone, eating pizza, drinking Miller High Life, watching the NASCARs go round in circles. I'm not ripping on NASCARs, folks. I'm not ripping on NASCAR. But it's true. You're going to pick up war wounds when you do anything physical, but the experiences and the benefits far, far, far outshadow anything else you can do in life. Resistance training is one of the few things in life I would consider mandatory beyond eating healthy. 3 days grace. Can we digest more micronutrients on an empty stomach? It's not really what's going on in your stomach that matters. It's your intestines. When things are processed in the chyme in your intestines, your body's going to slow down or speed up nutrient absorption depending on what it needs. What's going on, Big Stein? I got sinus problems, so I'm sorry, folks. Sorry, folks, and folks listening on the podcast, that was not a goose. I got some sinus issues. All right. Mike, is it normal to have to make periodic form adjustments that may result in reduced reps? Good question. I would say about 20% of my clients have a rough enough form where we need to start from the basics. We need to deprogram everything and reprogram from the ground up. So usually outside of that, if someone needs to make a minor form adjustment, like move your toe angle out a little bit or push your knees out, we generally don't have to drop weight. We generally don't. Sometimes we do. DG's got the caps lock engaged. No feelings, just facts. I need one of those massive iron tees to floss these shoulder gains using the massive iron approach. Happy Friday. Thank you. I appreciate you joining in. Richard Murray from Scotland. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't talk about moving to Scotland, Richard. So one day I might be your neighbor. Be careful. Hi, how much do you feel about heavy sandbag carries or farmer walks? Too much risk to reward? Not at all. Those are fine. Risk to reward stuff for me is sprinting, like explosive stuff, especially if you're an older dude, older, over 35, working on that man bod. I'm not being critical. I was there myself, that dad bod. Risk to reward. The greatest risk to reward is probably deadlifts and squats. But sandbag carries and farmer walks, those are very low risk to reward. All right. Hey, gang, Team Massive, hashtag Team Massive. All the Team Massive guys are here. And I want to say, if you guys have not heard of Team Massive, please head over to my website, Super Living Today. I'm going to show you real quick, okay? And Team Massive is something I sincerely appreciate. It is a Discord group, a private Discord group, and you also get micro coaching with it. So you can ask me questions directly. You can ask me for form help. If you head over to my website, sorry, allergies kicking in. Hit Team Massive. It's a one-time fee. So look, it's $99. It's a one-time fee. I have a server to pay for. It's not a lot, but it basically, for $99, it covers all the server costs, and you get micro coaching for the rest of your life, as long as not the rest of your life, the rest of my life, or as long as Discord exists or the group exists. So check it out. Stein says, join Team Massive. Thank you, Stein. Mickey Chan from Team Massive, welcome. And Dungeons and Dumbbells from Team Massive, welcome. Josh, massage guns, use them? Which ones? Josh, I will say that's completely out of my lane. Don't know a darn thing about them. I will tell you guys behind the scenes, when you see a YouTube channel and they have sponsored content, this video is sponsored by Super Greens. I take these every day, guys, like, Joe Rogan. This stuff's great. Right. I get those requests daily. I do, on all kinds of things, from shaker cups to Super Greens to massage guns. I get a lot of massage guns. I get folks wanting to send me massage guns and do a video on it. I have nothing against them. The honest truth is I just don't have time. I have limited time, and I'm doing client work and client workouts and phone calls and structuring, trying to come up with, lame ideas on YouTube, right? And, social media. I'm just a small fry compared to these big guys. So I don't have a lot of time for periphery stuff. Foam rolling, yoga, massage guns, just very limited time. And when I'm not doing this stuff, I'll watch a baseball game, watch a movie with my wife, take the dogs to the dog park. I do that a lot. Get out and run, that sort of thing. Paul, Big Paul, when you hurt your rotator cuff, did you need surgery? When you hurt your rotator cuff, I never had a rotator cuff injury. I tore my shoulder once lifting an empty oil barrel at work. I just lifted an empty oil drum, tore my left shoulder. That was a muscle tear. A muscle tears, you just need to slowly work them so they kind of heal in place. So I didn't need surgery for that. And sorry for any confusion. Barkness 1234. Barkness 1234. I hit 135-pound bench for the first time this week. Congrats. All steps are big steps. Don't downplay what you did, man. The only thing I downplay is people who quit or keep looking for excuses to deload, reload, unload, and all that kind of happy horse shit. Started with the empty bar and on to 185 and 225 next. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you. And you owe it to yourself to keep charging. Forget how that weight feels. Keep using good form. Keep charging forward. Rico Santana. How's it going, Rico? Favorite hat you own? Look. Favorite hat I own. I have literally ordered like 10 of these off Amazon. because I go through them so much. These are great hats, solid bill. They're always just got the perfect curve, accentuates my ugly head, and I love outside of what's on the hat. I just love the hat itself. It's just a quality hat, and I've gone running so many times and lifting so many times in it that I've literally gone through 10. I have a lot of other hats, and they're all brown and camo and stuff like that. This is a Lost Dog Street Band. You know, that's not a bad hat. It's a wider bill, a fatter bill. This is more curved, accentuates my right. So let me see if I can find this hat on the on Amazon. Amazon's asking for my damn password and all this kind of stuff. Thanks, Amazon. Richard Murray, have a great weekend. Remember to join Team Massive. Thank you, Richard. All right, we got a good off-topic question from Done Deal 79. 80s punk or metal? I like both, and 80s was a golden era of rap. Rap isn't anything I care about, and I'm not dissing on rap. You like rap, have fun with rap, go for it. Just not my deal. I like jazz. I like punk. I like metal. I hesitate to say alternative because there's a lot of crappy alternative music. But my bands were more Minutemen. Love Minutemen. Replacements were kind of raw drunk rock back in the 80s. What else? Dinosaur Jr. What else do we got? We got Dinosaur Jr., we got the Replacements, we got the Minutemen, we got Descendants. Stuff like that were my core. And then, things like the Lemonheads. Metal, I got into metal really, really early on, around 84. Like stuff no one was listening to. Like back in my day, when you're listening to it, you're like, oh my goodness, he's like a Satan worshiper, that type of thing. Right? You like my voices? Probably not. But I got into metal back then. There was a record store in town, and you used to see all these weird albums, right? Metallica, Slayer, Exodus, stuff like that, and Death Angel. You start to grow out, from there. Nuclear Assault, Stormtroopers of Death, and I really Snow White, Violence. You really start to expand out. I think one of the oddest, coolest things of early metal I bought was Venom at War with Satan. You're just a kid. You're like, I'm getting the album that says At War with Satan. Ah. And one whole side was one really bad instrumental, right? It was just crap. But you would listen to it because you were, I had the jean jacket with the patches, the Minutemen, Misfits, all the metal bands. So I was never like a Cro-Mags guy or, that type of punk. I was more like post-punk, pop punk, that sort of thing. Strength and Soul. Back to bro splits since long period of push-pull legs 2 times a week feels great. Push-pull legs 2 times a week is hard, man. It is hard, especially if you're training properly. I could never hang with it. When doing dumbbell work, one at a time or both arms same time? Well, if you're doing dumbbell curls, I like to do alternate because I like that balance. If I'm doing one arm, I always feel kind of unbalanced. So I like to lean in, do this kind of thing. Dumbbell bench, definitely 2 arms. You can do alternating as well. Dumbbell rows, 1 arm. I don't like 2-arm dumbbell row variations. A lot of my clients do, and that's fine. Dumbbell overhead press, 2 arms seated. Standing, single arm I prefer, or alternating. Barkness. Occasionally on bench, I have a tendency to slide up on my bench a few inches when pressing. Might be due to incorrect or excessive leg, probably excessive leg drive. What you want to do is you got your hips and you got your back. When you bench, you don't have to create a super arch, but you want to try to push your hips towards your back and just create a platform. You do that and you have your lats kind of pulled together. That's really all you need. This obsession with leg drive, man, it's way overboard. That might be a little bit slightly beneficial on a one rep max attempt, but it's trivial. It adds virtually nothing at all to the lift. I don't care who says what. It doesn't. It just doesn't add a lot to the lift. Having a tight platform, you're going to be fine. There's way over obsession with leg drive. And you guys know it. It doesn't add much to the lift at all. It's more of a distraction than anything. Sue me. That's what I believe, and that's what I'll go to the grave believing. Joseph, old school straps or Versagrips? 100% Versagrips. Straps are a pain in the ass cinching in, take too long, and I've ripped way too many pair. The quality just sucks el balzo. You know what I'm saying? Versagrips 100%. My Versagrips are over 14 years, and they just keep going. Erohan Zamal, best book on programming for natural lifters. I don't know that there's a lot of books on programming. I would check out my book, Massive Iron, because it gives you pillars of success and about 20 examples. It obviously needs upgrading because the book is older and I need to get something new. But you guys have all my newer content. But I would look at stuff from Dr. Mike and Brad Schoenfeld. Get a wide variety, of information. Mostly, it's not a book. It's mostly Instagram. Menno Henselman, mostly Instagram guys that I follow. I watch what they're saying. I watch what they're talking about. I process it on a daily basis. And here's the deal. Any of us that are serious about results or helping others, we should really be following these guys. Whether you agree with everything you say or you don't like their personality or whatever, understandable. But you want to have a group of all these people, Menno Henselman, Dr. Mike, Brad Schoenfeld, all these guys, or you follow so you can kind of stay up on what's going on in hypertrophy. Because if you gravitate towards these other channels, just the big channels, I'm not going to name names, but yeah, they have great physiques, but are they students of the game or are they just students of their limited window? You need to be students of the game. You need to be constantly evolving and growing and learning, and I'm going to do that until the day I die. So that is the best way to approach things. And that's it. Now I'm going to pick a winner. These are all questions I got in before live started. And I'm going to get two winners today, 3 days grace and DGs. Both of you win a t-shirt or a Team Massive membership. I can't remember who's on Team Massive because everybody's using names, right? Monikers or nicknames or all that kind of happy horse shit. So whatever you want, let me know. Neo, how's it going, Neo? Neo just put in, I just looked at Neo's back workout this weekend. Monsterific. Nice work. Big Mike McClellan. What's the ideal hand placement? We're doing barbell shrugs. Is there any benefit to using a trap bar? Now, barbell shrugs, just outside of the legs, I find what I end up happening is I get a lot on shrugs. I can get a lot of friction between the side of my thumb and my lifting pants, and I can really just tear the skin off. That's not unusual for me on shrugs. So you can either go a hair wider, but I invariably end up tearing it up anyway. A lot of times I'll have to tape up for shrugs. You don't want to go too wide. You want to maintain a good leverage position. Usually for me, it's right next to legs. And as far as trap bar, I'm assuming you mean for shrugs, yes. I like the trap bar for shrugs, but a trap bar in general, I like using the trap bar for rows, for it's kind of a side upright row, and for shrugs as well. So yeah, I like trap bars, and they're usually pretty cheap. Um, I think we posted on Team Massive that. Let me see if this is available. There was like a $69 trap bar. It didn't have a huge weight capacity, only $500. And I don't know if I can find it. Probably not. We have so many messages that if anybody can find that thing, there was like I don't know, like a $69 trap bar. I think it was on either Amazon or Walmart. It only had like a 500-pound capacity. Neo, I started using Versa grips for Steve advice. They're much easier to use on the hands. Indeed, much easier to lock in. Netherlands, welcome Netherlands. Skips, I'm going into night shift. Any advice for balancing work and exercise? Night shift can be tough, and I'm assuming you're talking third shift or some odd shift. You pretty much got to be more disciplined. Plan your meals. Because you get a night shift, you get a little punch drunk. You want to eat a little snack machine, vending machine raids. I've been there myself. I understand. Coffee drinks. Sometimes you're just mentally weary. You really need to figure out your workout time, when you want to work out. Are you feeling spent when you're done? Then it's probably a good idea to work out first. You know, um, are you feeling okay when you're done and you like to work out before bed and have a big meal? A lot of it's highly personal, but my best advice is to really create a solid plan and structure because so many things can go wrong. Strength and Soul podcast is nice. Love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Skips from Down Under, by the way. Thank you for joining in. Arahan, can you max out every week? Don't do it. There's no benefit to doing this. There's no benefit. Can you? Yeah. What's it going to achieve? I'm not laughing at you. It's not going to achieve anything. You build strength with volume and progression, not by testing your max. It's like, can I punch a wall every week? Yeah, but what benefit does it's not going to get you stronger at punching. It's the same thing. Don't do this stuff, guys. Don't. I implore you, don't do this. There's no benefit at all. If anything, there's just downside. Podcasts are not. Oh, I already got that one. Sorry. Tom Monroe. Big, hairy, ugly dude. You asked me to post it specifically. I appreciate you doing that. Hope you can get to it. 58 years young, hoping you have some advice to go from maintaining technique, focus, training to actually building some strength. Tom, I am debating starting a second channel for men over, I hate to use a specific age, but more mature men. Men that have kids, jobs, mortgages, over the age of 35, 45, 50, that sort of thing. Where I talk more on that running, building strength. And if you guys push me hard enough, I might do that. But you're 58 years young, hoping to get some advice to go from maintaining technique, focus train, to actually building some strength. The best place to start when you're older is to start with a more minimal volume. Start with a more minimal volume and more minimal training. Like 2 sets per exercise every other day, get more rest. And from there, We want to have some sort of a set for each exercise where we push for max safe reps. Safe. Emphasis on safe. So that's the best starting point. Beyond that, if you want some more tips, don't just work with all barbell exercises. Work in your dumbbells and your machines, etc. But Tom, I'd like to help you more. This is a pretty broad topic. So, if you have any more questions, fire them away, like specific questions. Big Bill Monte, hello, big hairy ugly dude, massive gang. When switching to a lower rep range, how much, if at all, should you increase the weight? Very good question. You're not going to have much of a difference in general. So going from 6 to 8, or 6 to 10, and now 4 to 8, basically I would look at the math of your baseline, the lowest or more intense, heaviest reps. So you got a 6 to a 4, an 8 to a 10. We got about a 2 difference, okay? So if you go to a 1 rep max calculator, and I hope this helps you guys. I'm going to pull this up. Okay? Let me share the screen. So let's say you got to lift 200. Doesn't matter, kgs, pounds, whatever. We're just looking at raw numbers. And you got 8. Okay? So your 1 rep max is about 248. Let's say your 1 rep max is about 248 on a lift. You can see on here, Bill, when you go from a 6 to an 8 or a difference of 2 reps, it's about 5% in weight. 2 reps is about 5% in weight. So if you want to get straight to business, I would probably drop 5 to even up to 7.5%, just to give yourself a week to acclimate to the demands of the new program. So I hope that helps, Bill. Martin Grundy, how long do t-shirts take to come to England? I think we have a distribution center in England, Martin. I believe one of my clients, Ben, when he buys shirts, he gets them within a week. I could be wrong, but it's snappy, very quick. Strength and Soul. This week was King's Day in the Netherlands. National Party Day for the King. I'll check that out. Sounds like a lot of trouble. Debra, just went to the physio for an injury I've had for a few months. Now trap lat issue. That was new. Sorry to hear that. Do what you can. Find exercises you can do and don't aggravate it and give it time. Mike, any thoughts on having Stan efforting on? I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Stan was on 2 years ago. There's me talking to Stan, and we talked for a good 20 minutes. So check that out, guys. All you have to do is go over to Massive Iron, search Stan in this little, Stan. And Stan was nice enough to join me. Check that out. On the podcast, I'd love to have him on the podcast. So if you guys want, you can just let me know. An hour is a long time to steal somebody like that, but if he's up for it, I'd love to have him. Awakening to vacuity, apropos of nothing. One of my favorite words. I just thought this might give you a laugh. When I was a bodybuilder, I actually competed at a weight that was about 3 pounds lighter than Kim Shishevsky. Now I'm gonna pull that up for you guys. Shishevsky. Kim Shishevsky. And we'll show you guys what he's talking about for reference. Oh my God, there's morphs up here. Thank you. Da. Hold on, folks. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. You don't want to work anyway. All right. Kim Shishevsky. There you go. I actually thought this might give you a laugh. When I was a bodybuilder, I competed at a weight that was about 3 pounds lighter than Kim. I would like to know Kim's supplement stack. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's a good stack right there. That's right down the old pipe. That's lubricated and smooth and just gliding along, gliding along on a great something like that. All right, Debra was wondering if this is sustainable long term or are injury risks higher by doing this. You mean lifting in general, or doing what? I'm not certain. Something got left out, Debra. So if you can kind of hit me up again if I missed it, head over to Instagram and I'll see. Excuse me, guys. Major sinus issues today. So let me get some drink. All right. We're 50 minutes in. Post up a question, off topic, anything. Got a lot in the queue. And I'm going to get to them all. I'll stay on as long as I don't care. We'll stay on to midnight. Who wants to work anyway, right? We've all seen the new Batman movie. No good movies to see. I watched Wormwood, the zombie movie. We both didn't like it at all. It looked like it'd be good, but we did not like it at all. Rico, my goal is to hit 405 bench, but I keep picking up tendonitis in my elbows. Is there a way to reach that goal? Tendonitis is not going to be from bench. It's going to be from all the pulling. Bench will kind of sometimes shine a light on it, but it's going to come from all the pulling work. So, Rico, the best thing you can do is use your VersaGrips religiously and hang tough. It will improve. Pop, how many years to get to 90% of genetic potential? If you are coming out of the gate like a greasy turd flying down that airstrip, lubricated, smooth, clean, got your nutrition nailed, got your form nailed, got your coaching with Big Hairy Ugly Dude, 3.5, 4 years. See him. Realistic weight loss expectation in a 1 month cut. Realistic? I will tell you, as somebody that coaches for a living, 6. If you're looking at long term, like someone is trying to lose weight, a lot of weight, like 50 pounds or more, 40 pounds or more, the average person hits about 6 because there's a lot of up and down days. A lot of got the birthday, the kid's birthday, got the Super Bowl, whatever. If you can dial it in and really nail it, I'd like to see 8 to 10, 8 to 12. Get it over with, right? Get the cut over with. Christopher Huber, did you see the recent unofficial sumo lift of 1107? Yes, I did. How many people do you think are lifting above records out there and just don't share it with the world? Well, I saw the lift, and I was curious if they were using the new Duffin bar. Now, the new Duffin bar, this isn't a dig, and we're not trying to stir up controversy, but supposedly the scuttlebutt, the word on the street, is that it has more bend than a regular deadlift bar. Now, I'm not trying to create controversy. I'm just saying, on a deadlift bar, Sumo, if you can get another inch out of that before it leaves the ground, that's a huge benefit, right? So I was curious if he was using the Duffin bar. Not that that's going to give him much on the lift, but it won't hurt. So I saw it. We watched it on Team Massive. And I don't know. There's a lot of guys out there, Chris, that are strong. But, if they're not lifting with a good group of lifters, I see guys that come across my Instagram feed where their form is scary. Like scary. Like you'll see guys deadlifting 600 pounds. You're like, oh, right? And I think, like, what could this guy do with a little bit of coaching? Because you don't just want to be that guy on Instagram where you jump in and, like, hey man, if you do this, your leverage is you're just some random dickhead that they don't know. Christopher, how do you feel about people that say sumo should be on its own record from traditional? Um, I think it would be interesting to from an analytics and statistics standpoint, I think it would be interesting to have records for sumo and conventional and then combined, both. Why not? What do we got to lose, right? What do we got to lose? It would be interesting, and I'd like to see it, and I think we'd all like to see it. So why not? Skips, big hairy ugly dude. Have you thought about asking Natural Gallant Bodybuilding to do a podcast? I don't think there's one of the few people I've never interacted with. So what I would do, this guy might hate me. I don't know. Just joking. Just joking, right? Um, you could go over to his YouTube channel and spam his comments right now. Hey, big hairy ugly dude. Would like to have you on the podcast. I think the biggest thing I need from you guys is to, pressure the people you want to come on. I don't have a lot of time, my free time outside of client work, um, to bother people. So, Pop, still lifting at 58, slowing down. The reps have helped the joints. Hang tough, man. Keep going, keep pushing, keep doing what you can do. There's no room for weakness in life, so stay as strong as you can. Aaron, is there an upper limit on how much volume we can do in a workout session? It's individualized, but you don't seek it as an upper limit. You want to add volume where it makes sense, but continue to work hard. Thank you for answering my questions. I was really trying to win that free membership. You got it. You already won. Done deal. Low bar or high bar squat? Good question. I believe, as a coach and someone that sees a lot of bad low bar squats, that when I start someone on squatting, if they are training with me, we start on high bar. We start the slate clean on high bar because naturally, when you start squatting, there are a certain number of form issues that occur. Knees are inside of feet, dive bombing, pushing your hips back. A lot of this contributes naturally to folding in the hole as you descend. So I try to work with folks and get them used to high bar first. Let's try to get as upright as we can on high bar, and then we'll kind of see if you're a squatter that might need low bar. But I like to get you comfortable on the most comfortable type of squat before we mess around with low bar. Justin P, can you get to advanced levels using only double progression? Well, Justin, you can get advanced levels using anything. It's like saying, can you cross country? Can you go across the country on a tricycle? Yeah, you can do anything. Why would you? Why would you? I've seen a lot. Faz and I have a really good discussion on advanced lifters that's coming out on the podcast tomorrow. And it's a long one. I encourage you guys to listen. But yeah, you can really get where there's a will, there's a way. You guys know this is what I'm about. Walk through fucking walls, right? Tear down the mountain. You can get anything done with anything if you have the will. But just know I'm not encouraging you guys just to find one way and stick with it for the rest of your life. That's a little bit like, MG254 Death Angel, room with a view. Yeah, welcome to the third floor, right? Death Angel. What was the first album I had? I had searched Death Angle. Death angel. Death angle. What's the angle of death, man? Ultraviolence. Ultraviolence was my, and I love that album. Ultraviolence is great. Ultraviolence was just a good metal album. Here we go, Joseph. They say, I'm glad you put that in air quotes, Joseph. You know me well. They say static stretching is bad pre-workout. There's no advantage. I recommend. I don't even like stretching pre-workout. If you need to loosen up something, that's fine. I prefer to loosen up with more warm-up sets, a little heat balm, and just getting things moving. I'm not, stretching I don't find to be valuable. If you like stretching, go ahead. I just, if it's specific for a movement, it provides benefit, go ahead. But in general, there's no real benefit. If you're going to overstretch before you lift and spend 30 minutes doing that and wasting all that energy, generally stretching is not the best. Sorry, the goose came out. Is not the best for right before you lift. Giuseppe Valenzuela, hope all is well. Thank you. Question about, does the bench need to be at a 90-degree angle to get the best dumbbell shoulder press? No. We're talking about the dumbbell overhead press. You want to have an angle about, can't do that this way. Oops. It's hard because what I see in the camera is opposite. You want to have an angle about 70 degrees. This will facilitate a more natural position, leverage-friendly position. You can hit your delts just fine. If you do it overhead, you're going to have to arch anyway, just like in a military press. So the benefit of doing a seated press is you get a little bit more stability, and you don't have to do that spine clenching, lower back destroying arch. Obviously, I have clients that can do a seated press, and they're or a standing press, and their lower back's not taking a beating. That's fine. But if you're going to do a seated dumbbell overhead press or a seated barbell overhead press, put the angle about 70 degrees. Do VersaGrips come with a longer length? Get the VersaGrip Pros. The ones I have cover all the way to the fingertips. The Pros are the ones you want. They come with a longer flap. They might even have a longer flap these days. Let me see. Longer flap VersaGrip Pros. They might even have a longer one than the Pros. I don't know. I don't really ever look beyond the Pros. VersaGrips. Oh, they have Classic, Pro, and Extreme. What are the extremes? I'll share this with you. Share this with you guys. Something. Here are the extremes. Total game changer. Where's the product details? There we go. What's the extreme? I don't know. Must just be a longer flap. No downside in that longer flap, I don't imagine. Pros work just fine for most people. Red Devil Dazzle, hello. What's your view on lat pull downs behind the head? Not really a big fan. I mean, the bigger you get, the older you get, the harder it is to get your arms back. That's just a girth, and aging issue. You get a little stiffer, tighter, all that kind of stuff, right? I don't really think it's the best choice. I don't think it's the best choice. If it works for you and you're young and you got good mobility, that's fine. Just concentrate on driving the elbows down. Got my dog hair on my shirt. Sebastian, what's the strongest natural without squat suits and slingshots? Man, I've seen a lot. I don't know. I've seen a lot of shenanigans in the world. I've seen a lot. Nick Wright's pretty darn strong. I've just seen a lot. And if I name names, they're just going to be powerlifters from meets that you will have never heard of. This will be my first night shift. Skip's all I can say is plan as much as you can. Utgard, went back and listened to your answer. Thanks a lot. And again, sorry for crowding the chat. No problem at all. That's what I'm here for. Please crowd away, post away. That's what I'm here for, man. I love these lives, and the more questions, the better. Make the channel. That'd be great. I'm heading towards 60. Channel for mature me without other life responsibilities would be great. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Doing things over for the more mature men over 35. That is lifting, running, just taking care of yourself and general man issues. Sorry, my allergies are just killing me. Got a tickle in my throat. That'll go over good on the podcast, blowing up some car speakers. Lots of differences in training and nutrition now. And there's a lot of differences for men in how they view life. You know, the younger kids tend to leave the funnier comments that don't know me, right? I imagine Louis Simmons or Mark Ripito or any Dan John or any other mature strength coach gets their share of funny comments. Who's the old dude? Your arms are small. You must be short. Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? Are higher reps ideal when deep in a cut? No. I mean, you don't want to really be training above 82.5%. And you really want to hold on to as much strength as you can. But, you know, you don't have to jump way down to higher reps unless you're like a week or two from a show and you just want to kind of maintain mass and not, you're not feeling too good. I lose so much strength in lower rep ranges. That's pretty normal. That's one of the reasons why you want to avoid those. You want to avoid kind of in a cut lifting above 82.5%. So I tend to stick with, 7, 8, 9, 10 rep range. And if you lose a rep, it's not so bad. Hatfield squats with safety squat bar benefits. I'm going to try to pull up a picture of a Hatfield squat for those of you guys watching on video. Let's see if I can. I got a video. Yo, Hatfield squat. Holding the bar in front of you. You can see dude squatting down. Now, if you have a safety squat bar, I really don't find much benefit to doing these over just grabbing the handle. So I'm going to be honest. If you try them and you find there's a benefit, that's okay. A lot of lifting is about these little nuances, right? Little nuances. So if you try them and you find there is a benefit, that's okay. But is there an inherent benefit for all people at all times with the safety squat bar? No, I would say no. Nicholas, thoughts on his sumo cheating? No. Cheating on what? I'm not bashing on you, Nicholas. I'm bashing on the whole concept. Cheating. Cheating on what? On who? Who gives a shit about powerlifting records anyway, right? All I care about is beating myself. Keep your mind out of the gutter. But seriously, cheating what? It's like steroids are cheating. Cheating on what? Like, you look like Jay Cutler versus Ronnie Coleman. They're all cheating. If you're going to use that, Powerlifting has a specific set of rules, and it allows you to do sumo or deadlift, and those are the rules. So if we're looking at the sport, it's not cheating. If you're looking at personal development, it certainly isn't cheating. I have plenty of clients that use Sumo. We're trying to get strong and build muscle. Definitely not cheating. So, as a muscle building, strength building, non competitive tool, is Sumo cheating? No, because you're not competing against anyone. You're competing against yourself. In the sport, is it cheating? No, because it's allowed. Just like a super Uber arch is allowed. Mike, thanks for your honest timelines for building mass. So frustrated with these get ripped in 30 days. Yeah, right. Get ripped in 30 or 90 days. Sorry, I said 30. I was thinking Athlete X, build 8,000 inches on your arms in 30 days. Kick rocks, Athlete X, kick rocks. It's bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. And if you follow someone that puts this stuff out, I'm not bashing on them. I'm bashing on the whole concept because it's bullshit. It is bullshit. You want me to lie to you and say it's not bullshit? Is that what you want? You want to be sold a fairy tale? I can sell you fairy tales like everybody else. Here's my $99 program, How to Build an Inch on Your Arms in 30 days. You know what? I want to die. I want to go to bed sleeping okay at night, right? I don't think some of these guys are malicious. I think some of these guys believe it. And they don't believe it because they believe it because they think it's possible. It's not. And therein lies a lack of education. It is what it is. Hate me if you want, but it's true. Stein, is there a benefit on going on a longer and slower bulk than 1 pound a month? Not really. Only, let me put the caveat. If you've built a good 10, 18 pounds of muscle, 20 pounds, if you've built some muscle already, then yes. There's really no need to be urgent. But honestly, Stein, the best way is to do the 4 months attack, then a mini cut. Keep the calories up so you can maximize what you're getting out of it. Most of us have periods where we're bulking and cutting over the course of a year anyway, even if we're not trying to do it. Like, oh, I ate too much over the holidays. I got to lose 10 pounds. Most of us do that stuff anyway. So really, eating at a surplus is very nice, right? Eating a surplus, gain about 8 to 10 pounds in 4 months and then cut it off and rinse and repeat. I think that's just a more fun way to do things. And we all kind of need those periods to reset our weight anyway. So I just think it's, in my opinion, it's the best way. Tom, not adding to any issues myself here, but Sumo and Conventional are their own separate records, just throwing that out there. 3 days grace. I don't have Insta and I don't plan on downloading it until my engineering exams are over. How should I contact you for the membership? You can contact me on email, benthebarman@gmail.com. benthebarman@gmail.com. Strongman is my sport right now. My question earlier is clearly about a desire to increase my absolute strength. You basically want to think about head to toe strength, Tom. Oh, in strongman where you have very dynamic lifts, there's a lot of benefits to really focusing on my philosophy of making everything from head to toe as strong as humanly possible. That's your good baseline. Skips. I've got a home gym with just a bench, half rack, and limited weights at this point. So bench, half rack, and limited weights. I'm trying to do more legs with squats, RDLs, and lunges. So I switch things up. Well, Skips, you can try the barbell deadlift behind the back. You can try Bulgarian split squats. You can try pause jump squats and supersets with lunges, that sort of thing. So there's some other things you can do. But if you like those 3 movements, have at them. I'm glad you have lunges in the mix. Utgard, I wonder if it would be fine to just skip horizontal pressing and just, not really. I don't like the concept at all. You want to have balance, pushing and pulling. You want to have balance. It's good for the shoulder girdle. It's good to prevent imbalances. If you're just strong at pulling and not pushing, you're encouraging some kind of weird imbalance. I'm not a fan of it at all, to be honest with you. All right, guys, we're about 75 minutes in. Keep the questions coming. I got about 10 questions left in the queue. I will stay on as long as you have questions. And if I missed your questions, if you're tuning in on the podcast or tuning in, watching it late on the YouTubes, you can head over to Instagram app and the Barman app and the Barman. Excuse me. Slide into my DM. Sorry about that. Slide into my DM and post your question, or you can email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. I don't really care. Whatever works best for you. Whatever works best for you. All right, let's roll on, guys. Post your questions up. Let's keep this going. Personal question: why are you breathing so heavily on the stream? I have super bad allergies. Super bad allergies for 3 days. It went from like 80 degrees to like 30 degrees. And I generally have really bad. I have what's called reactive airway disease. It sounds extreme, but if I get a little piece of dust in my throat, my airway constricts. So I naturally have airway issues, and I can't breathe out of my nose. I've been dripping nonstop for like 3 days. Just brutal allergies right now. I can't breathe out of my nose. I don't feel sick. I'm not sick. I just have really, really bad allergies. And I can't breathe properly. Geffy Grease. Can I get strong on the deadlift using the 10 rep range? I'm not a fan of higher reps on the deads. Usually I try to limit things to about 25 deadlift reps a week, floor pulling. But that's fine. You could do like 3 or 4 sets of that as long as you're not doing any grindy reps. As long as you're really smart about what you're doing. I've got motivation to lift, but right now I need motivation to study. Any advice? Good question. The thing that led me to the most success was practicing good study habits. And one of the issues with studying is you can have a prolonged period of time where you have to study, right? I'm going to show you guys something. So one of the things you can do is study in blocks. Like do 10 or 15 minutes. When I do client messages, I do them in blocks. Like I will do 20 messages and then I will do something else real quick, like post an Instagram post or get my podcast set up, download a podcast stream, and then I'll do 20 more. You can get timers on your phone and on your as an extension on like Google Chrome or whatever. My best advice is to study or work in blocks. I'm gonna go hard for 15 minutes. Then when the timer goes off, I'm gonna stretch, eat some Cheetos, whatever, and get back. Take a break, check your phone. But my best advice is to do it in blocks like that, manageable blocks that aren't going to melt your brain. Paul X, thoughts on the different styles between Jay and Ronnie, heavy versus lighter? Ronnie was kind of a power lifter before he was a bodybuilder, right? He was always lifting heavy ass weight. So the bodybuilders I've met still train pretty heavy. Ronnie just liked to do some really circus act level stuff. That's not a dig. I've trained with Ronnie Coleman. I've met him many times through Tiger Fitness, etc. Really good guy. I met Jay as well. but just different styles of training. But they're still pretty darn strong. DC Fan 88, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I'm benching 150, 5 sets, but can only rep it 10 times. Watch out, the goose just flew over. Am I supposed to rep it 12 times to add more weight? You need a rep goal, DC Fan. So I'd like to know what your sets are. Are they 10, 8, 7, 5, 3, or how does it go? So you need a rep goal on that first set or the last set, however you're doing things. So it can be 10, it can be 12, it can be 11, it can be 13, whatever. You just need a target where you hit. You don't have to specifically hit 12. MG254. Rep and set range for working around a busted shoulder. Man, there's nothing I can tell you there. I don't know what a busted shoulder means, and I'm not trying to be dismissive. I don't know the nature of the injury, your limitations. The honest truth is, when I'm working with someone with an injury, I need to know as much as I can what exercises they can do, what causes pain, etc. Scruffy like a boss. Love these live videos. I appreciate you tuning in. And again, I'm sorry I can't breathe. I just can't breathe. It's been 3 days and my sinuses are just absolutely locked up. How long should a normal leg day last for hypertrophy? Well, if you're generally 60 to 75 minutes. A leg day, squats can take a little bit longer because the rest in between sets. If you're going over 75 minutes, that's okay as long as it's just quality stuff. 3 days grace. Sent the email. Thanks. I'll check as soon as we are done. Ian, does coffee have the potential to negatively affect gut health? We're talking not anything I've understood. Gut health is mostly going to be negatively affected by crap, like just junk food. And I've seen those studies that show that coffee negatively impacts gut health. There are some minor studies that hint that coffee can be negative, but not the body of work, so I wouldn't worry about it at all. Rico, you still think about the massive 28-day power building cycle for upper lower split? Rico, mention that to me so I can put it together. Munir, you skipped over my question. Sorry, sir, I didn't. I did not. YouTube is great at not posting questions. I don't see it. So please post it up again, or really quick, head over to Instagram. @Ben the Barman. Slide into my DM and post up your questions if they're not showing up here. Feel you on the allergies. I feel them year round. Now it's really bad, and I got sick as well. Yeah, they are just awful right now for me. Just the last 3 days, I can't breathe. It finally got up to 80. Now it's 30. My sinuses are locked up. Just feel awful. Mike, occasionally my hamstrings feel tight right before I deadlift. Should I just warm them up with light deads? I would probably put heat rub on. Maybe do a few sets of light leg curls just to get things, rolling. Outside of that, though, maybe a few extra warm-up sets, but I wouldn't recommend you need anything more than that. Our 1-rep maxes on isolation silly 100%. They're ridiculously silly. They're hard to maintain form on. They're just silly. You can do a 1-rep max dumbbell fly. It sounds like a good way to get injured. After watching multiple people injure themselves due to running, I didn't want to do it at all. Now I see big, hairy, ugly dude lifting weights and running, so I think I can change. I don't see a lot of injuries. You know what I see? I see people that don't lift and run. Me, man, I'll tell you. People keep telling me, like, you're going to get injured running. But one thing I think I've discovered is that with how strong my muscles and my tendons and connective tissue are, I don't get hurt running. And I really believe I've unearthed something important. That is another benefit of strength training over time, is that it helps with injury prevention on general sporting athletic activities. Don't run on pavement. That'll beat your knees and hips up. Run on trail. It's softer. Don't try to sprint. Don't try to run fast. Run a conversational pace. I can run at that level all day long. Got to tell my kids, thank you for tuning in, and please come back next week. DG's probably natty. All right. Mickey Chan, is there any real benefit to casein over normal whey protein? It is slower digesting. So, if you're going to have it at night with like Greek yogurt or something in a snack, mix a little Greek yogurt with a scoop of casein, some berries. No downside at all. None. All right, last call for questions. I got one more coming up. And then we're going to jump ship. Why were all the old-time strongmen lower body dominant? Well, I don't know. That's an interesting question. And I don't know that they were. I mean, from what I have seen, pretty strong dudes on everything. But I don't think they shied away from the lower body work. I think they liked having a strong base. And, the best of the best are going to rise to the top, right? The best of the best are going to rise to the top, and those with strong lower bodies are probably going to be training their upper body just as strongly. Raphael, I'm training to take the police physical test. Any tips on acing it? Well, I assume you have running and body weight stuff. But I would need to know more. I would probably try to do each of those 3 times a week, whatever you have. Running, push-ups, whatever you have. So you can let me know what it is on Instagram specifically. I fielded this question before, but I need to know specifically, what you have. I'm not a big fan of decline bench because leaning forward on dips. Is it necessary? No. Not necessary at all. In fact, decline bench is probably going to be a lot more triceps focused. And skips. I'm tapped. Everyone talking, you'll catch it. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. Define Martinez. Started my training during watching your videos and progressed through your ebooks. Next is coaching. You're the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Should I do 1 to 2 leg days since I have to incorporate runs for my job? I need to know more, like how often you're running and how you like to train. But if you have to run for your job, you want at least one big quality leg day. I don't like to run necessarily before leg day. You can run after. I would need to know more information. All right, guys, that's it. We are out of here in 1 hour and 30 minutes. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If I missed your question, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman. Slide into my DM. Head over to superlivingtoday.com. Hit the coaching tab. Sign up today. Come on. Put those cookies down. Sign up for coaching. Put the cookie down. Thank you, Mickey. Put your cookie down. Sign up for coaching. I got a whole bunch of workouts over at superlivingtoday.com, so you can check those out. Get you a t-shirt. Only make a couple bucks off them, but I appreciate your support. And join Team Massive. All right, guys, see you next Friday. Watch for the podcast tomorrow. Because I have a really good one on beginner, intermediate, and advanced lifters with FAS. And I'm out of here.